Yeah, and it's my mom. Hang on a minute, this will be fun. Mom, I'm gaming right now!
Yes. Yes, you are.
Mom, I'm gaming right now! With my friends, Mom!
Hey, don't do that, me! Hey, I'm here too!
Mom! I'm gaming with my friends! What do you want?
Hey,
And I'm streaming, Mom! Mom!
I'm hanging up.
I love you, Mom.
Only 5 minutes left. Fire team that fights together stays together. Double down. Tell them to line up faster. Fantastic work.
Oh my God. I didn't just do that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I think Marv would have been very proud of me in that moment.
I have the holocron. See here. You didn't make it, Grease.
Here? Should you get out?
Ah! Ah! I don't know what happened there. Wikipedia for me, but I have a Wikipedia. And I hate it. Oh wait, is that empty? Tell me that's an empty suit. Okay, it's an empty suit. Okay. Oh, but I don't like the music that's playing. I do not care for the music that is playing right now. And there's a lot of ammo around here. There's a lot of ammo around here. I could have swore that was somebody hanging there. I could have swore that was somebody hanging there.
Which
And-
should be the upcoming update that's...
What the hell is that?
That is Barry. Barry. So you gotta say hey to
So
Barry.
is this the haunted house in the Halloween season?
More or less.
And they just keep all their
just keep going along.
Oh, they're
You're doing
prop?
fine. You're doing fine.
Oh fuck! What was that? What is that? What the hell is that?
What was that? I don't know. You tell me.
What was that? Okay, yeah. You know what? You know I will get you for this.
Yeah, I know.
I will
Oh,
get you.
bullshit! You're the one, dude. You're the one that took me to TWA at night. I don't want to fucking.
Oh, well, I missed this.
All right. Anything on your EMF?
Do you want to play ball with me? Okay. Fuck that.
We are off and running, chat. Here we go. All right, Phil, move forward. Now, Phil, I will tell you right now, I will not leave you alone in this game. Open this door, Phil. Open this door to your left.
The one that I'm okay.
Yeah, the one on the left. Okay, walk in there. And read what is on the portrait, Phil.
How was that? Was that you?
No.
Because I didn't read anything and I just heard a noise.
No. Just
Magna.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
That switch does not seem to do anything. Exactly. It just shuts off the armor.
It shuts off the armor.
Alright, let me see if there's a switch over here.
That'd be
Well,
lovely.
these switches here.
That was not us.
Again. Alright.
I think I heard Sabrina say mom.
Huh?
What?
She didn't
I thought
say
you were in
that.
another room.
No, she didn't say that.
Did you not?
I heard that.
I thought that was.
I thought that was Serena. I heard Mom.
Me too.
I heard it too.
It wasn't.
That was not a real person.
I'll tell you what, I know, I'm gonna take a seat over here.
Maker.
Maker? You're probably told not to speak to strangers. And that's fine. That's fine. My name is T. And over there's my...
Was that you squeaking?
Ooh, no, that wasn't. I heard that.
Yeah, that's now I hear you squeaking.
I heard
What was that? It sounded
I-
like a voice.
I don't... It did.
Yeah, it wasn't your because
No,
I hear
it
you
wasn't me.
squeaking
It
now,
wasn't.
and it doesn't
Nothing got
sound
caught
like
in my throat. There was. I marked it, but it was a mumble. Did you heard that, right?
100%.
Cat, I swear, are you really doing this to me? Are you seeing this? Ah! Damn it, Cat! Don't. Oh my God! The cat. You little jerk! Man? What did you do to my game, Cat? I swear to God.
Is that still going off in there, Tina? I would like the cat balls. Someone needs some cat balls.
What was that?
Someone needs some cat balls. You have.
What is that? What is that? Do you hear that, Pip? It's a very wow. Hang on. It's a very rushed. It sounds like a rushed whisper.
Someone needs some cat balls.
I'm now slowing it down to 175. I'm hearing turn around. Does anyone else hear that? Which is ironic when you think about it, because usually people say, "Oh, all theaters are haunted." I don't think all theaters are haunted.
Well, this one's definitely found in it, definitely.
I mean, something's.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But-
They're just not talking to us right now.
They're just not talking to us right now.
You want to go into the green room?
But I ask you, since when does an actor never want to talk about themselves?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, it's me, Twitch Dad, and I'm here. Yeah, this is where it starts to get super creepy. This is the game Cyberpunk 2077 wanted to be, chat. I'm just going to come out and say it. This is the game Cyberpunk 2077 wanted to be. So, there you go.
Well, pitter patter, let's get at her.
Okay. Glad I got that out of my system. Overriding it could destroy my software. But I made that choice when I hooked into that first computer and the consequences it would bring. I'm sorry we went to see the outside together. But I needed to carry on the memories of humanity to hold on to the past. But I see futures in companions and you. Here, let me take that off of you. You were my friend, the very best I could have asked for. Oh, damn it. This is going to be another Last of Us ending where I cry, isn't it? I'm tearing up already. Oh. He's headbutting him. Oh. Oh, my heart! Oh, my heart! Oh. Why am I crying in a video game? Oh my god. I did it, hon. I did it, hon. I finished Stray. Worth every minute. Worth every minute. I'll move you back just a little bit.
What?
I wonder if she's pregnant.
She does look like. I was just wondering if her belly was a little bit big.
Yeah,
Maybe that might be why she's hungry.
that might be.
So, Jack, you are upset that Wesley fought for Virginia, fought against his own people from Gettysburg. That must have been aggravating.
Did someone just? Did you just whisper? Did you just whisper?
Keep going. Everything you got. No, I don't know. I'm worried. He's back at red.
Come on.
Oh no.
Steve
We got
Saylor? Steve Saylor? You did it! You did it! Congratulations, Steve Saylor! You just picked up your second seal, and it's a motherfucking raid seal! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
I fucking love it when T gets hyped.
With a teammate entirely of your clan. Hold on. I'm going for it.
Right?
Yeah, you just saw 80 inches of me touching my nipples on your wall. You're never gonna look at your wall the same way again. Okay.
The thing I absolutely love. Hi, Kathy, over on YouTube, and hi everybody over on Twitch. The thing I love about the pre-show, if you will, the pre-show of this stream is everybody gets to chatting, and the stuff that I think I'm going to talk about, I'm like, oh wait, I can put that off and talk about this first. I can put that off and talk about this first. So now I had one thing I wanted to talk about. Now I got a whole crap ton of things I want to talk about. So hi everybody. With mason jar of cherry Coke Spice in hand. How you doing, everybody? It is a sit down and a yeah, I know you love to distract me. It is a sit down and a Q&A and all things open with the T Monster, T Morris, Twitch Dad, Old Spirits Investigations. I forgot one thing. I've been looking around and going, what did I forget? And then I realized, oh yeah, I forgot this. Hang on. I know some people haven't been to the stream lately, so they don't know about the most recent improvement. There we go. And if you're wondering what improvement, I don't see what's going on. What are we talking about here? Hold on one second and I'll show you. Now you can see the new improvements I've made to the stream. I've got a few more acoustic tiles up, but the main thing is the light show. You'll see that change a bit. Yes, I did fix it. The lights have been fixed, and Marv more washed than Disney World. That's probably a thing. I'm washed in Destiny 2. Try again tomorrow. Marv, just take a breath. Just take a freaking breath. That's the best thing you can do. Unfortunately, I will not be engaging in Destiny 2 or pretty much any games for quite some time, because after this weekend is done, I have to keep the head down and focus on getting out the two parts of the old hospital on College Hill, because we got plans at the end of the month, then we got plans at the beginning of November. It's gonna be I thought you fixed the Twitch Dad intro. Oh yeah. That has been fixed. You can now see that Twitch Dad is back up and running. So Twitch Dad is up and running. So we're all good there. I did the test. Don't worry. I did the test, everybody, to make sure that everything was working. Can't always be playing games. No, I can't. No, I can't, Space Veggie. No, I can't. Not at all. So real quick, Luna, I do feel your pain. Literally, I do feel your pain. Let me take you back in time a bit to when T was a professional actor. And I came up with a great idea at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. I wanted to play a character that apparently they tried one year and it just kind of flopped. But the director said, you know what, T, knowing your imagination, I think this is going to work. And boy, howdy, they were not disappointed. I don't mind saying that. They were not disappointed. I came up with the name of Quentin Edmund Devonshire. That was the character's name, Quentin Edmund Devonshire, and only a few people caught the QED joke. That being said, he was the town inventor as well as town. Well, they didn't really call their astronomers. They called them astrologers, but you know, it was the same thing. I basically was the astronomer, but my main thing was gadgets, and everybody called me Q. Now, all the Trekkies thought I was Q because I was omnipotent and I knew all these things and all this stuff. But only the rare few went, oh, Q branch. And I'm like, yes, thank you very much. And Quentin was the town inventor. He had all these. I actually had, because somebody pulled some strings with one of the Potters. I actually had for quite a few years until I got damaged during one move. I had one of my inventions realized. One of the Potters, I guess someone who does pottery, a Potter, I guess, Harry Potter, I don't know, created what Quentin called the happy hourglass, and it was a way that you could speed up the process of serving people in the pubs, and it was beautiful while it was still around. It was beautiful though. It was this beautiful pottery pitcher, but it had 3 spouts, so I could literally fill three cups at the same time. I'm getting now what this has to do with knees, Luna. I'm getting there. You've met me, so now you know. Oh, this is how T tells a story. He gets to the point after taking the scenic route. That's part of the charm of this stream. Anyway. So one of the things I love to do with the happy hourglass, because the summer before, I'd actually done an acting gig where I would go around to different schools and I'd teach lessons, like cool lessons with science. And it was called Mad Science. And I learned that, yeah, you could pretty much pick up dry ice and throw it into regular drinks and it just carbonates the water. That's all it does. I was like, well, hell, let's do that. I would literally be walking around with this 3 spigoted pitcher, and there would just be this heavy fog coming out of whatever was in it. And man, I had a great time playing this character. But if you were to ask me, what was Quentin's joy? What was his passion? What was his one invention that he wanted to make sure he got right? Human flight. And in fact, somebody made me wings. They put on this ratty old leather vest, a pair of wings, and I would attempt to fly. Now you know where this is going to end with my knees. I would do a lot of pratfalling and a lot of I guess you could say physical comedy attempting to fly. Most of the time, I want to stress that, most of the time I was fine. Most of the time I was fine. I was still in a 30-year-old body. It was pretty resilient. I was fine. Then came year 2. I played Quentin. And the guy who made me the wings thought, oh, T actually is trying to fly. I'm going to double the wingspan of these things, and I'm going to construct the frame out of something a little tougher. And man, I felt every fiber of my being after that first weekend. That opening weekend, I was in pain. And I then and then even after I adjusted the comedy, the comedic timing of trying to, fly and work against gravity, my knees were starting, like after the second or third weekend, I was like, why am I, what is wrong with me walking? And then I realized, oh, I think I'm effing up my knees. No, not steel wings. It was more like, let's see, the frames of the first one were like balsa wood, you know, very flexible balsa wood. They were very delicate, very Da Vinci-like. The second year that I did it, those things were made out of pine. and they, like I said, they had double the wingspan. The first, so there was a joke I would do with people where I would get people to cheer me on by just chanting flap, flap, flap. Not fap, Marv. Not fap, flap. I like your monitoring space, and thank you, Marv. But I knew he'd think fap. I knew he would think fap. So I would get them to cheer me on by saying flap. And it was real easy with the balsa with the balsa wood wings, because I could even do like you know, I could get a backdraft if I wanted to, that kind of thing. The first time that I did this with the pine wings, the wingspan was so intense, plus the fabric that he'd wrapped around said pine frame, I nearly knocked myself down because I went, whoom, and I just went, whoa. And yeah, after that first weekend, I felt everything right in here, like I had pecs. I had pecs for a while. It felt really damn good. Anyway, a lot of the physical comedy that I've done, plus a lot of the stage combat that I've done, has done a number on my knees. So I have to be so. Do not worry. Do not worry, dear Luna. I don't think you're going to be. You're going to be fine. You are resilient. You are a young wee pixie. You're going to be just fine. Okay, hang in there. All right. Oh, come on, Luna. Come on. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. What do you? Yeah, I am old. Yeah, okay. When 55 you reach, look so good you will not. Okay, please. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. Come on. All right. So yeah. Let's talk. Well, first let me. I'm noticing there's a mad glare off of my camera because now I've got the LED lights kicked in. Give me a second, everybody. Aww. There we go. Hey. All right, everyone. I have to point this out. Everyone. I have to point this out. I'm going to go straight to cat cam. I'd like to point out, everyone, that in the apartment, in the grand suite of the cat cam, of the tree. All right. That's Vi. Vi is in the cat tree.
I suggest you let that one marinate.
All right. Her Highness herself. She has graced me with her presence. Vi? Yes, Vi. I was asleep. Would you like a treat, Vi? She needs a treat. I'm trying to encourage her to be here, so yeah.
Hello there.
Hello there. It's very rare for Vi to join me in the studio, so I'm tickled that she's here. So anyway, hope you like the new lighting scheme. Hope you like the way this is all working out, because I'm very happy. We still have a few more things. We still have a few more things that we're going to be bringing into the studio. So yeah, I know it's the Duchess. It's Her Highness. It is the Queen, as she likes to say, the Queen. Who's Queen? And yeah. But let's since we're talking about cats, let's talk a little bit about Evie. What happened? Because I forgot that. Yeah, I did take last night off. So yeah, this place, Diamond Hill Veterinary. It was, according to Lynchburg, the Lynchburg Facebook page, this was the place to bring your cats and dogs and critters and what have you. This was apparently a really good establishment. You know, they had a great reputation. So I was like, okay, cool. That's going to be where we take Evie to figure out what's going on with her. And for anyone that's new to the stream, or you're curious as to what's going on with the stream, first off, yes, I am going to be getting to Unsolved Mysteries. I am going to be talking about that. But I am also going to be touching base a bit on Evie.
Figured it.
Because my stream, my rules. All right, so Evie. For those of you who didn't know about Evie, she's been having an issue ever since she went through the procedure to get neutered. She got spayed, and this was when the problem was occurring. We discovered that she was licking herself, grooming herself to a point where she would groom herself raw in really the worst of places, backs of the legs, crotch area, stomach, you know. And so we took her to our vet. This is before we moved, obviously. And we have thrown everything at it. Gabapentin, we've thrown, different meds. And since we discovered this, which was early spring, Evie has been in that collar. Now, at first, we thought it was really kind of cute. You know, she was walking around like a watermelon, then she would walk around like a petunia. Then now, of course, she's walking around like a pumpkin. But that cuteness kind of wears off after about... It starts to wear off after about a couple of months. After 2 or 3 months, it's no longer cute. It's like, we really want you out of this collar. And Evie's disposition has never faltered. She has still been a phenomenal cat. We have no regrets about rescuing her or her unborn cats, whom you might see a couple of them tonight. Who knows? And yeah, we are doing everything we can to try to get Evie out of the collar and, into a normal kind of groove with things. We go to this place. We have an 11:45 appointment. Okay, fine. We have an appointment. I want to stress that. We have an appointment. 11:45, we fill out the little few things of paperwork, and we we put in our paperwork and we wait. And we wait a little longer. And we wait a little longer.
You're touring with your pals the other day.
We continue to wait.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Wait for it. And we're still waiting, and it's like 1:15 at this point. Well, we're closing in on 1:15, and I said, if they haven't seen us by 1:15, we're leaving. Now, I've waited a long time at my previous vets. The longest I've ever waited was maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. But at 1:15, at the time that we're gearing up to leave, they were like, "Oh no, we're gonna, we're prepping for you right now." Oh, let me back this up a bit. So, back this clip up. So Pip and I pull into the place where we're going to be taking Evie, and we're trying to find it. Now we've got this nondescript. Have you guys tried Apoquel for her? I don't think so. Now, yeah, a waiting time is fine, Space Vegetable. I totally think waiting is expected. Not an hour wait, but hold that thought, Space Veggie. Hold that thought. I'm getting to that. So we finally figure out that it is this nondescript brick building that looks kind of like a warehouse. This is where it looks like where a welder would be, but this is apparently where the vet is. I'm like, okay, cool. We go inside. Oh, that's the other thing too. The only way I knew that this was the door into the vets was there was a window, a single window that had the hours. And I'm like, okay, this must be the vet's office. There's nothing on the door that says welcome to such and such or anything like that, or hours or any of that. It's just a nondescript door. I don't even know if this thing is locked or unlocked. At first I thought it was like the vet private access or something like that. So I go walking around the other side of the building. There's no other door. And I'm like, okay, this must be the way in. We open the door, and the smell was the first thing that hit both me and Pip. Now, I think Pip is a much better actress than she gives herself credit for, because I knew that on the outside, I had my game face on. On the inside, I was reeling from the smell. The best way I can describe the smell of this vet's office. Now, granted, I know some of you may be thinking, T, it's a vet's office. It's supposed to smell. No. My previous vet, Ohana, their vet's office smelled like, you know, kind of like a vet's office. You know, it had that mix of a pet food smell, but with that antiseptic smell, which is something that you kind of put together with a vet's place. It's going to smell like a doctor's office, but with that added scent of pet odor, maybe, or pet smell, or pet food smell, and you know, dog and cat food. So I was like, you know, you kind of expect that going in, and you know, some places are a more smell of pets than others, but Ohana was able to keep it kind of under control. The best way I can describe the smell that hit me when I walked into this vet was the smell of stale pet urine and a super musty basement. That is the best way I could describe this. I almost walked out. The only reason we were sticking this out was because we really want to find a solution for Evie. But that smell was, after a while we got used to it, which is a horrible thing to say, but that was the best way I could describe it. A musty, stale pet urine smell. Then there was the added function that apparently their AC wasn't really working that well. It was a little humid in this vet's office, where we waited for an hour before we finally saw someone. And it was a vet assistant. Gave them the rundown, told them about Evie, told them about the issue, told them what we've already done up to that point. And then we waited for another hour. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it, secondhand. But just in case anybody else missed it, yeah, we waited another hour. We got in for the appointment. The appointment that was supposed to be at 11:45 was at 1:15. And it wasn't until 2:15 that we were graced by this doctor. Now, the first thing that made me kind of nervous was when she walked in, and I noticed straight off the bat she's wearing this little Om yoga meditation medallion. And I knew someone in my past had worn something like that, and there's no nice way to put this, chat. Anytime I see somebody wearing one of those, I'm already at DEFCON 4. Because every person that I've known that's had some type of Om charm like that has been an absolute jerk. There's no namaste. It's more like namaste, bitches. That's the way folks with those pendants are, at least in the encounters that I have had. I want to make sure that is clear with everybody. Those are the no, watch. I do a meetup somewhere at TwitchCon or something like that. Everyone's gonna be wearing these damn Om pendants. But that has been my modus operandi. If you're wearing an Om, yeah, exactly. But that, when I saw that, I was like, okay, open mind. First time with this doctor. I'm gonna let this go. We're gonna be cool. And while she's talking to us, she's doing this with her glasses. The whole time she's talking and diagnosing. When she stopped looking at Evie, she kept doing this with her glasses. She didn't hit herself, but you know, it was just this. And it was getting a little annoying because I'm sitting here going, what the hell are you doing? What can you just wear your glasses, or could you put a chain on and just let them hang? She is twirling her glasses like I didn't know what was going on here. I didn't know if this was some nervous tick or if she was on the spectrum. Well, I don't know what, but it was really starting to piss me off because I wanted her to focus on Evie. That was why we brought her there, because we want an answer, and we've been waiting for frickin', at this point, let's see, 2.5 hours. We had been waiting for 2.5 hours to talk to somebody, and we're finally talking to this lady. Oh, and that's where she said, do you have a problem with fleas in the house? No. Well, this looks like because I saw this thing on her stomach. It's got to mean there's some type of flea infestation, or because that sort of thing happens with a flea infection. No. Have you checked the other cats? We are certain the other cats, none of them have fleas. This quack mentioned flea infection, not once, not twice, but 5 freaking times. And I said on the last mention, I said, well, as I have said repeatedly, none of the other cats have fleas. So you're trying, and the thing, and chat, as gross as this may sound, I have had a cat who had a flea infection or had a flea infestation, and we had to bomb the house. I mean, I've gone through that as a kid. I remember, God, I hated this. It was a poor kitten that we had rescued, and the flea infestation on her was so bad I could see them crawling all around her. We had to, we gave her several baths, all of which she hated. But the thing is, I've been through that. I know what a flea infestation is like. And I made it very clear to this quack of a doctor that it is a pet owner. You're absolutely right, Second Hand. But I made it very clear to this quack of a doctor that you do not have a flea infestation if one cat has fleas, but the other 4 cats in your house are all flea clean. It's not like the flea goes, oh, no, I don't do tabbies. I don't do gingers. I only do tortes. I mean, come on. I didn't think it could get worse, but it did. Because I know there was a point of where she was mentioning, I should rephrase that. I stopped counting after 5 mentions. Exactly, we would have flea bites as well, but as I tried telling this absolute quack of a doctor, it was not a flea, but she kept mentioning it. She was obsessing over it. Then she said something that really set me off. She said, just so you know, I don't believe in vaccines. I don't believe in vaccines. I think a rabies shot is good enough. You don't have to do distemper. Blah, 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 blah. And she's going off on big pharma and vaccines. And at that point, I was ready to go. And at least 2 more times, and I know at least 2 more times she mentioned fleas, because I was gripping my inhaler I was gripping the inhaler in my pocket that she didn't see. Every time she mentioned flea infestations, I just squeezed the inhaler, because I was like, I can't melt down in front of my wife. I can't melt down in front of the cat. And several times I said to Pip, I said, well, I think the best thing we can do at this point is mail the records to you, and then we can, figure out a plan of action next. And I was trying to find the quickest way out. I just wanted to pay the effing bill and get out. When she was offering a prescription for Evie, she said, would you like anything for a possible flea infestation? And I said, no. If we find fleas, or we find flea corpses somewhere, we'll let you know. And I just wanted to get out of there. We had waited, and we had been at that vet's office for so long. Evie, who I want to say, Evie was such a trooper. She didn't growl. She was purring a lot. She was a little nervous. But she had been at this fakakta vet office for so damn long, she lost her bladder control while she was in the car and ruined the carrier that she was in. It's okay, we could replace it. That was fine. But that was the cherry on top. That was the cherry on top. I was pissed. Because there's one thing I've learned after having up to 9 cats in a single house. It's that cats have a lot of pride. Cats have varying degrees of pride. And Evie's a proud little girl. She's a proud Appalachian princess. But I was so pissed at this point. I was just, So we got home, made an appointment with a different vet. The only thing that makes us nervous about this vet, but we know going in, anti-vax, but pro-drugs toxin, what have you. The thing that we do know about the medication we're giving Evie is that it's something for anxiety, and that might be something that Evie is worried about. But it was just, this lady, by the end of the appointment, I just wanted to punch her because she just came across she came across in the worst possible way. And had I heard the word holistic, I'm just going to come out and say it. If I had heard the word holistic, I would have been like, okay, we're done. We're going to get a 50% discount because I don't want you guys coming near my cats at this point. The new place we're going to, the downside of it is that it is owned like by big, it is owned by Big Vet. There is such thing as Big Vet. Apparently these venture capitalist groups are now buying up different services and offering big money, but then they do what they do with corporations. They take everything you liked about the vet and then they kind of put it through the crapper. So we're going to see if this vet is any better. At least we can say this: it couldn't be any worse. If it is, well, then we'll just have to. Oh, good night, Mika. We're just gonna have to do the best we can, but we're not giving up on Evie. She's a great cat. She proved it this week. And yeah, she's we're keeping an eye on her. She is, I will say this about Evie, she is really, really adjusted to the new house. And I do agree that I think the reason why she was abandoned, it probably happened when somebody was moving. I know that cats don't like change, but I've never seen anybody react so viscerally to moving boxes, and I can only assume that was what happened to Evie. Basically, people packed some shit up around her, and then they just left her. That's all I can figure out what happened. Sometimes people suck, but if it weren't for people, we wouldn't have picked up Evie and rescued her as we did. And once we started unpacking stuff, we could see Evie relax straight away. And now she loves the house. She absolutely loves the house. Yeah, the anti-vax business, Leah, was of the vet that we just took Evie to, and we're trying to course correct Evie with this odd fixation she has with grooming herself. So that's what you missed. It was a really bad 3+ hour vet visit. So yeah, that's what you missed. Anyway, you also missed stories of me as an actor when I really effed up my knees, and I can still. Now the good news is I can still run. And I would say that to you, Luna, before you think about surgery. Maybe try to find out if there are any kind of weightlifting exercises or anything like that you could do at a gym that could strengthen your knees. There's also some powdered mixes that can actually help build cartilage. I don't know if it's cartilage, but it's whatever's around your knees. It is probably anxiety related. Yes, Leah. I would totally agree with that. But there is some powdered shakes you can make that can repair what's effed up with your knees. That's the stuff, exactly. There's a cure for being old. Yes, it's called exercise. It's called exercise and living life right in video games. That is your cure for growing old, because I'm 55 and I'm still playing video games, and yeah, I'm streaming amongst teenagers and early 20-somethings. Take a good look, Gen Zers. This is your future. Okay, where was I? Some other things to consider. Yeah. This is going to be a short stream, everybody. This is going to be a short stream because I am still working on the old hospital at College Hill, and we're still getting through the footage. But I got to tell you, I'm fighting every freaking urge right now, chat, to show you what happened today. I was going through some footage. I did actually put together. I did put together a quick Discord post, a very quick Discord post about it under paranormal. You can find it there. But basically, yeah. Long story short, I was watching a segment of the old hospital investigation, and a voice was captured. A voice was captured on not one, not two, four different sources of audio and video recording. A voice popped in there. Wasn't mine, wasn't Pip, and it certainly wasn't Phil's. And we were the only 3 people on that entire floor. So, whoo, everybody. It was, well, I sent the clip to Phil, and Phil's reaction was quickly followed by this.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
It was pretty intense. We put this through the ringer. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't any of us, and particularly it was Phil's. It was Phil's. It was Phil's clip. It was Phil's clip that kind of pushed it over the edge, where there was no way it could be me or Pip or Phil. And I would love to share that with you, but you know what? I'm going to wait until the premiere next week, which I am planning. I am planning to have it done. That is going to be my single drive, is to get this clip done. But I think I figured out how I'm going to do the old hospital on College Hill footage. Because as many of you know from the previous streams and from watching me review all the footage and then getting all the new footage that I forgot or didn't know that I had, I think the last time I checked, I had about 6 hours of footage, and I need to get 2. And I briefly thought about making it a 3-parter, and I thought, yeah, here's the problem I have with it being 3 parts. I don't really want it to be 3 parts because we actually have not necessarily an October special, but more like just a special episode. I talked with Steve Saylor about the Satanic Panic experiment. He was okay with the name, but I found out that he wants that thing live by the end of November, and I was like, okay. Because I wasn't planning to drop that footage until next year. But again, I was like, all right, we can do it this way, because the way we're going to do it is we are going to go on ahead and have to see how much footage is enough to share and how much might be too much. Exactly, Space Veggie. So here's the plan. The plan is I'm going to do it's going to be a 2-part. Part 1 is going to be the 3 of us on the 4th floor alone, and then my time being alone on the 2nd floor during the horror movie Friday the 13th experiment, which I think we're going to call it the horror movie experiment. So it's not to piss anybody off over at Paramount or whoever owns the rights to Jason Voorhees. I believe it is Universal, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so I think part 1 of the Friday of the old hospital on College Hill episode is going to be us on the 4th floor by ourselves, the 3 of us, and then me on the 2nd floor by myself. And then we're going to, for part 2, do Phil and Pip when they were alone on the 3rd floor and what they experienced and all that. And then it's going to end with the footage of me and Phil doing, with Phil doing SDs and me doing automatic writing and Pip doing all the questions. And that should be 2 very, very solid. New Line Production. Oh, got it. Okay, thank you, Secondhand. Very good. As far as the entirety of the horror movie experiment, I think I'm just going to take that, put it all together as one gigantic video, and then do that as a members only thing. because I really want to start making a push for doing stuff specifically for members only. It's one of the things I've noticed being a member of Amy's Crypt and Paranormal Quest is that they will on occasion do, you know, extended stuff, right? And I think that is probably the best thing to do with that. Would be fun to see what results you could get from automatic writing. I assumed it would require a lot of focus. Well, if you want to see what it looks like, or the way we do it, Space Veggie, you can always look at there are several episodes that we have up where we have that in the mix. There is our Christmas special from season 2, which was at Balladary Inn, and I did it there. And then there is the Octagon Mansion at 585. That was the first time I ever did it. And then you can see in the Old Hospital Part 2, Old Hospital, which will be the last episode of this season. That's gonna be that. So yeah, just expect on this channel for there to be a lot of Q&A and a lot of open discussions like this while I'm looking at footage, because I know I'm going to be in a crunch trying to finish up the Old Hospital episode, and then when we do the Haunted Houses traction, that's going to be hopefully our Halloween special, which I'll probably have roughly 3 days to put that whole thing together. We'll see if I can pull it off. And then 2 weeks after Halloween, that's when we say hey to everyone from Dungeons and Disableds, and we put them through the one shot, which Steve has told me is going to be called A Haunting at Linville Manor. And I saw that, Luna. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know. I can also say I've never seen No Sleep for Me. Nope. Sleep for Me secondhand. I can honestly say I have not seen Hyper's stream, so I have no idea what relationship he has with his chat. Every streamer has a different relationship with their chat. And I think it's very, I tell you something, I actually talked about this with Doug, and I said, man, your chat has got the weirdest vibe about it. They got a really wild energy. And he goes, yeah, they can take a smallest thing and run with it. And I said, tell me about it. And then we started talking about the whole ICU thing, because yeah, they took this game can get a little crazy, and ICU, and they just freaking ran with that. And Doug kind of chuckled. He's like, yeah, that's what they do, and I love him for it. You know, he was a very nice guy. And by the way, I don't know if you are in the same boat with me and Luna, but you should be watching Dungeons and Disableds. Look them up over on YouTube. Steve just started Welcome to Haven's Rest, which was the project that I helped him out with, and we filmed it live at TwitchCon, and it is off and running, and it's so much fun to watch already. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff to do. But this Old Hospital episode is starting to come together. I'm pretty damn excited about it, and I can't wait to share it with you. And I do mean that. I literally cannot wait, because my plan is to have that puppy ready to go and ready for posting by next Friday, because I really want to get back into the swing of posting stuff. But our buffer lasted for as long as we needed it to, and I think we would have still been fine had Pip and I not moved. But we moved, and you know, that was a real disruption of things. But that's, you know, it's okay. We're getting back into it. Like I said, we're getting back into a groove of things. And as much as I was like, you know what, I should focus on just getting the footage done. I wanted to give everybody at least a quick 2-hour stream just to talk, just to say hey, get people caught up with, you know, how's Evie doing, and you know, and what's going on with the footage. And I mean, this week right now, as you all know, as you can see, you know, posted over here. There we go. Here, posted over here. We've got the public event coming up tomorrow. And as far as I know, we were 4 slots away from being sold out. So that means there's going to be at least 26 people coming. At least 26 people coming. The good news is, I'm very excited about this. The person in charge of Historic Manassas said, talked over to my boss, we're going to waive the fee and give you guys a night where you can just come in for like 4 hours and investigate the place. And, you know, I'm good with that. I am very, very good with that, because when you've got like when you if any of you saw the live stream that we did from Annaberg, you know that it was a very weird logistic struggle we were going through, particularly because we had a pretty decent sized group with us. And when you've got a bigger group and you're trying to, you know, basically do it like a dress rehearsal for a public event, you can't really investigate as intensely as you'd like to. And Phil and I were both, you know, kind of vibing on something there. It didn't help too that Phil showed up roughly an hour late, and that's not a diss on Phil. That's just the way things worked out, that Phil showed up an hour late. And it was very hard to kind of bring Phil up to speed and catch him up and do all that stuff. 4 hours, that is the, in my opinion, that's a minimum. That is where you really feel like you can get a good feel of a place. I mean, yeah, I've always felt like 4 hours is a solid investigation. 6 hours is an indulgent investigation. Anything over 6, and it's a hard push. And I can say that I have done. I don't mind a 6 hour investigation. That's, to me, that's just fantastic. I love doing that. If I can push it to 7, that's great. They're a little harder to snap back from, but it can be done, obviously. Now, the 12-hour investigation we did at Crescent, that was a very different experience altogether. And if paced right, yeah, it can be done, and it can be easily done. The recovery process is a little longer, and you got to be ready to give yourself. It's like doing a flight over to the southern hemisphere. You know, you're crossing the international date or Asia. You know, you're crossing the international date line if you're leaving from the West Coast. Your body is all out of whack, but you just have to power through, and you can do it. But a 4 hour investigation, no, that's you know, in, focused, and you're out. And I like that. I like that. So we're going to be doing that. And I'm very excited to, you know, to bring that to you all when it happens. How long do those big famous TV shows go ghost hunting? Oh, Luna. This is what they don't tell you about those shows. Whether it's Ghost Hunters, whether it is Ghost Adventures, or, you know, Kindred Spirits, they go out. No. I wouldn't say that. Portals to Hell, I give a lot of credence to. Kindred Spirits, I loved them. I absolutely loved Kindred Spirits. Ghost Hunters, I loved. Ghost Brothers were fun as hell. Those 4, I would say, were my go-tos. Destination Fear, which became Project Fear, you know, they're my guilty pleasure. It's the Ghost Adventures one. Anything involving Stephen Shippey. I mean, Zach Baggins, Stephen Shippey, you know, those guys. Yeah, I have thoughts. I have thoughts about what I wanted to talk about tonight, but we'll be getting to that in a few. But here's what they don't tell you. The way they're edited, the way they're all put together, it looks like that they are there for one night, right? Turns out they are there for a week. And out of a 7-day week, I would say they're investigating 3 to 5 days out of those weeks. So they're there for quite some time. And you say that, Luna, you say a week, but here's the thing that boggles my mind, and also shows me how whatever it is that we are touching, whatever darkness we are toying with, I will tell you this: ghosts do not work on a timetable. They do not have a clock that they punch in and punch out, because the way it looked from how it was filmed and all this stuff, I would say Phil and I missed the ghost hunters, the original ghost hunters, who had teamed up with the Ghost Brothers for an investigation of Crescent SCI. I want to say maybe by no less than 2 weeks, because when Phil and I did our 12-hour lock-in at Crescent, I want to say we were there at the near the end of August. Near the end of October, and it was getting cold. When the Ghost Hunters and Ghost Brothers were there, it was just straight up winter. So I'm thinking it was probably November, right? And when I look at the stuff we got at Crescent and the stuff they got after a week at Crescent, and this is not me slamming on Jason Mother effing Hawes, Stack Jacked and Packed Mother effing Hawes. I was kind of surprised at how little they found at Crescent. Because when Phil and I went, that place was absolutely bonkers. It was one of the craziest places I think we've ever been to. It was not the craziest for me, but for Phil, it was amazing. It was intense, and it still is one of his favorite places. Ghosts being on a payroll, ghosts signing W-2s, ghosts earning taxable income, ghosts getting demanding overtime, especially if it But no, it just felt like they got some stuff, but like one of the places that they didn't go into, which I was kind of surprised about, they did not go into the hospice. And the hospice was where everything happened for me and Phil. Cell block D did not disappoint, and I've been tempted to make for season 4 an episode of when we went back to Crescent during the day, and it was still pretty intense. But Luna, let me tell you something about that hospice. Phil was like, I forgot one of my lights, and he's looking at me like T, I want you to come with me and walk with me to the end of the hallway so that we can get the lights. And I'm like, oh, okay, Phil. And I mean, that was, we were green. We were green when we went into Crescent, but it's still, we still consider it one of our best visits. But the hospice was a world into itself. That was a crazy place. That was a super crazy place. But I cannot wait. Like I said, next week, part 1 of the investigation of the old hospital on College Hill. It's happening. I'm gonna, come hell or high water, I'm gonna get it done. And it just what I found today. I had to walk it off. I had to just kind of walk around the house and just not do any editing for a while. It was intense. Because I was trying to rationalize it. I was trying to explain to it. And what was even more ironic about this whole thing, I just finished watching a video from Beardo. Beardo Gets Scared. Watched a video with him on YouTube where he was talking about he was done being a nice guy, and he started breaking down some videos. Some of the videos we have already covered on recent Grim Gazettes. And what happened to me today, I said to Phil, I am right now one email away from reaching out to Beardo and saying on bended knee, please tell me what this is, because I honestly do not know. That's how intense it was of a reaction I was having to what I found. And I'm the first one to say it. I am not going to blow up footage unless I think it's worthy. I am not going to be a hype man and tell you this is the most terrifying footage I have ever seen and have it not be. I'm not. Do it. I would prefer to let the footage speak for itself, but today was one of those days where I had to take a few breaths, because I couldn't explain what it was. As for the rest of you, you're going to have to wait until next week. Just quick, hey, do you know what this might be? Exactly. That was serious. I wanted to. Now, granted, I wouldn't do that without the green light from Phil. The other thing that makes me nervous about turning over this footage to debunkers that I trust is that they would come up with something that legitimately is a concern of mine. And I'll tell you what it is that they're like, you know, they could easily say, well, it had to be somebody on your team. And I'm like, no, it can't be, because we've already debunked that. And they're like, well, no, you haven't. Because sadly, on the video, none of us are visible. But the way we have debunked this, the way we have said it can't be anybody on our team, is the proximity of what was said and where we are on the different the different sources that we cite. It just can't be one of us. And but I would never send off footage to a debunker unless Phil said, yeah, go for it. And that is me being courteous to my partner. You know, I could not do that with a clean conscience. But wow, it did set a tone for the day. Now there is the other nice thing, and I'm not gonna spoil any more of it. This is a very, I would call this a well-rounded investigation, and I think it's a really good way to end the season, because it's gonna be a good couple of episodes. I really believe that. So the thing I really wanted to talk about, though, and I don't know how many of you out there are over on YouTube or on Twitch. I don't know how many of you are fans of the Netflix series Unsolved Mysteries. First off, I got to give a major shout out to Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. It is really a well done series. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I remember when they said they were bringing it back, and I'm like, Unsolved Mysteries? And I was like, okay, you know. Hey T, random thing, it's been bugging me. Can you remember what spooky game you were going to play for this spooky month? Yes. I actually remember the two games that I wanted to play. The two games that I wanted to play were one called Affected the Manor, which was a VR game that Phil gave me, where you actually go through a haunted house. And that was one game. And the other game was Mortuary Assistant. And then there was a third game, Alien Isolation. I was looking at those three games and going, maybe I could do that for Halloween. Maybe I could do that for spooky season. But in a weird twist of fate, I have a lot of IRL ghost hunting footage to go through. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to go on ahead and, strap in to do that. As far as when I'm going to play Mortuary Assistant, see, here's the thing. I promised Panic that I would do it. So I'm going to hold myself to that promise, and might make it an after Halloween candy give out stream where I play Mortuary Assistant. I know I'm going to be horrible at it. But the thing is that, I was kind of bumming out because I was like, well, when am I going to play these games? And then I realized, well, the good news is, though, it's spooky season, and I'm spending most of it going through IRL footage from ghost hunting. Now, I could, with a little discussion with the wife, I could start doing longer streams. Since I'm still job hunting, and I could do longer streams, start breaking things up. But again, I mean, that's kind of, it's what my October, heck, my 2024 has turned out way differently than I thought it would. It has turned out way different than I thought it would. And so I'm working through that right now. So my thought is, yes, I do that. And here's why, Luna. I have an entire section about it that, yes, did get openly mocked a bit by it didn't necessarily get mocked by well, yeah, it did get mocked a bit by Doug. But I was talking about the fam, and I was talking about the fam in real life, and and you know, Doug was saying to his stream, he's like, "You are not my fam," and they were all going, "We are your fam," and it was absolutely ridiculous. But I do have an entire section in Twitch for Dummies where I talk about the importance of talking about your stream schedule with people in your life, so they know what you're doing, they know when you're doing it, but they also understand how important this is. And I've made that a thing where, yeah, if I want to stream more, fine, I'm going to go and I can stream more, but I've got to get everything in a row. Like, for example, one of the things that I was planning to do tonight, if I wasn't doing this, if I wasn't doing video editing and all this stuff, I wanted to watch with Pip tonight a movie that she thought she had seen, but she has never seen. And that movie is Dragon Slayer. Now, I'm going to get back to Unsolved Mysteries in a second, but just bear with me on this rabbit hole. Dragon Slayer came out in 1981. Okay? Came out in 1981. And the way I remember the film, because I have not seen Dragon Slayer in a long time, but the way I remember it, it holds up pretty freaking well. When it came out in 81, though, it came out around the time of the Satanic Panic. So I think it was way ahead of its time. I thought it was way ahead of its time. And you know, no spoilers here. I'm just going to tell you here's how way ahead of the curve Dragon Slayer was. And I know I mentioned this before, I think on Steve's stream, but the way Dragon Slayer ends, Galen, the young sorcerer, or the young apprentice to the sorcerer, basically defeats the dragon by using magic to basically he basically turns the sorcerer into a bomb, and I did, that's what I thought, and he kills the dragon. He kills Vermitrax. Well, there's so you see the steaming corpse of the dragon, and Galen is there, and he's all worn, and he's got, like, you know, soot and everything covering his body, and he's just exhausted. And the villagers come up over the rise, and there's the head of the village who's got like a cross, and he goes, "Let us pray. We thank thee, Lord, for this victory that you've given us by smiting the dragon with your very hand," you know, and he's giving a sermon about how it was God that brought down the dragon. Then the king rolls up. And he rolls up. He's got his ceremonial sword. He comes up to the dragon, and he just sticks the sword, just kind of puts the sword into one of the guts of the dragon. And his advisor bellows, "All hail Cassiodorus Rex, Dragon Slayer!" So here you got the religious contingent taking credit for the kill. You've got the politicians that are taking credit for the kill, and there's Galen, the guy who did the dirty work, and he's just looking at everybody like, "I am effing done. I am so f***ing done with this f***ing village and these f***ing politicians. I am just f***ing done. Somebody let me throw a fireball." I mean, you know, he was just, and as a kid in the 80s, I didn't get that. But man, being a 55-year-old white male, I'm like, yep. Voting the way I'm voting this election, yep, I get it. I totally get it. But also big in the 80s, how's this for a segue? Also big in the 80s was a show called Unsolved Mysteries. Now, Luna, you asked me about what was Unsolved Mysteries, okay? Unsolved Mysteries was kind of like the prototype for true crime. It was hosted by this very venerable actor, but everybody knew him from different stuff. But man, he made an impact with Unsolved Mysteries. And it was hosted by a guy named Robert Stack, and they would always do what the title suggested. It was Unsolved Mysteries. They only talked about mysteries that have not been resolved or have been solved, you know, and they ranged from murders to kidnappings to missing persons to UFOs to, you know, ghosts. I mean, it was insanely popular. And now Unsolved is the official that's the official website of the new current Unsolved Mysteries. But yeah, it is the whole genre. Yeah. So the genre is true crime. So you would find it under true crime and maybe even documentaries. You would also find it under paranormal because they do cover paranormal stuff. And that was the thing. Netflix said that they were going to bring back Unsolved Mysteries. And we were like, what? And it was just odd that they were bringing it back. The moment I heard the opening theme, I was like, oh my God, I think they're going to pull this off. And there you go. There you go. The OG intro was very 80s. But then when you hear the modern version that Netflix have released, it's like, oh, okay. And they've updated the style and the approach. It's basically What If Unsolved Mysteries, the series that I knew from the 80s and 90s. What if it got a 2021, 2020 upgrade? And it's brilliant until it's not. And that's where I'm getting at. If you want to see a really good one concerning the paranormal, right? I think it was season 1 or season 2 of Unsolved Mysteries did a phenomenal, I mean, just a phenomenal coverage of what was it? It was the ghost. I think they called it Ghosts of the Tsunami or Spirits of the Tsunami, and they were talking about the tsunami that hit Fukuoka. Was that the? I'm butchering the name, but it was the one that hit the nuclear plant and wiped out part of the city in Japan, the coastal city of Japan. I want to say it, but anyway. They were talking to people that were seeing loved ones and you know, like taxi drivers that were giving people soaking wet, fares to where they needed to go. And then when they would get there, he'd look in the rearview mirror and they'd be gone. I mean, there were some great, really eerie kind of stuff that they were talking about. And I was all in. I think, thank you, Space Veggie. Fukushima. Thank you, Fukushima. So yeah, Unsolved Mysteries is really, it's good. It's very, very good. I know in season 1 on Netflix, they had this thing that happened in Baltimore. And I remember when it happened in Baltimore. And I still can't figure out this. Wow. It was a freaky, freaky thing. I think that's the one. Secondhand. Whatever was the one. Yeah. It was that earthquake that started that did the tsunami that hit Fukushima. So yeah. Okay. No problem, Luca. No problem. But okay. So here's what happened though. Don't know if you knew it. And this is the thing that Netflix has been doing lately. I don't quite dig it, but you know, it's their channel, their rules, I guess. But they've been dropping seasons of Unsolved Mysteries, not telling anybody. It just shows up in your menu. Hey, there are new episodes available. It's like, so you know, you drop on it. Well, They apparently just dropped this week, because it just happened, like, I think I want to say last night or maybe the night before, but sometime last week, they dropped a brand new season of Unsolved Mysteries. And my wife and I started the new season, first episode, pretty straightforward, unsolved murder, unsolved double murder, pretty intense. So we kind of dig that. Their second one, however, I wanted to comment on. I really wanted to comment on it. It is paranormal based, and I gotta say, wow. I'm very disappointed in how Netflix and Unsolved Mysteries handled it. So it's a dude who is a paranormal investigator, and he's on some whim, he decided he was inviting this spirit that he calls Becky to follow him around and help him with different paranormal cases. Now here's the part that I was a little baffled by. The episode about Becky started off great. It did. It started off absolutely phenomenal. But as we were getting deeper and deeper into how long this guy had been doing paranormal investigations, when things started picking up for him, all these different things. So it was around 2011, 2013, 2014 that he really started to get into Netflix about a quick cash grab nowadays. I understand secondhand, but that's my thing though. Here, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. We even covered that we did cover that on a Grim Gazette. But hear me out secondhand. Unsolved Mysteries is a notch above. All the other crime documentaries they do, yeah, they're pretty standard. They're all pretty good when they don't use AI to futz with things. But Unsolved Mysteries is at a higher tier. It really is. It is at a higher tier compared to all the others. I mean, before the days of crime documentaries and true crime and all that series, and even before Serial, there was Unsolved Mysteries. So yeah, Unsolved Mysteries. I think it's on a higher tier. So they're talking to this guy about his paranormal partner Becky, right? And he really came into his own. He really came into his own around 2011. Now here's where I go, wait a minute. And what it is, what's been bugging me about this whole episode was the stuff that he was doing between somewhere between 2011 and 2018, if I recall correctly. Hang on a minute. I want to see if this is the guy. No, it is not. Okay. I just wanted to check. So yeah, hold on. Yep, that's it. Just all. Okay, so we don't even have a channel. Okay. So this guy, he's been doing this stuff with Becky, prominently, and he has been investigated by this other paranormal psychologist since 2014, 2015. What was really triggering for me in this episode of Unsolved Mysteries was they were talking about all this incredible evidence that they found about this. And they kept talking about all this great, these EVPs that they were catching, and they were showing clips from other parts of the investigation. But then when they really got to the evidence that really shook people, okay, you got to go. No worries, Luna. You can always catch this VOD later, but you have a good night, all right? Remember what I said today. Be good to yourself. They wouldn't play or show any of the evidence. The EVP that said, "My name is Becky," right? That one, it was a video of him holding a recorder, but it was clearly not the. It was a staged thing of somebody holding the recorder. And I'm like, couldn't they have played a clip where they were talking about people hearing these EVPs about where they were catching all this stuff? Because they were talking about all like, oh yeah, we we went to this one guy's house to help out and try to figure out what was going on, and there were plates and there were pictures flying everywhere, and they had still photos of the scene. And I'm like, guys, at this point, it's I believe it was 2014 when they were investigating this guy's house, and you're telling me nobody got any of this stuff on video. If this were the 70s, I'd give you a pass. I'd give you a pass in the 70s because on home, or at home, I remember being a struggling actor, but I had a day job to make sure that I could, one, pay the bills, and two, feed this awful beast of video editing that I was trying to get. And I remember dropping, oh my God, how much did I drop on this camera? There was this one video camera on my yearly salary, which was not a lot, but I think I paid like anywhere from $300 to $400 for this VHS camera. It was a monster, but oh my God, the stuff I shot with it, I was so happy with it. It's strange how some stuff doesn't get documented fully anymore in terms of footage. Makes it hard to determine the validity of it. Exactly, Space Veggie. Exactly. And it was what was driving me particularly batty about all this. Let me see if I can find out. I feel like I'm dancing around it. Let me just see here. Let's see. Okay, so here's Unsolved. Yep, they dropped it on October 2nd. My Paranormal Partner. That was the name. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna read you the synopsis. In January of 2015.
It's a trap.
Steve Mera, the founder of the scientific establishment of parapsychology, meets a paranormal investigator by the name of Don Phillips. Phillips, a psychic medium himself, claims to have formed a bond with a spirit who goes by the name of Becky. Powerful and benevolent spirit. Becky communicates with Don via a handheld recorder. Now, Don claims that Becky follows him on other paranormal investigations, helping him work. When Steve Mera attends his first meeting with Don, he has every intention of debunking these claims. However, within a matter of hours, Don is able to demonstrate his abilities, and to Mera's astonishment, he hears Becky's voice himself through Don's recorder. Mera has never seen a person like Don form a bond with a spirit like this before. Can it be real? So all of this is happening in 2015. There were iPhones out at that time that had really good cameras. I know that for a fact. Mera decides the only way to get to the bottom of this phenomenon is to take Don paranormal hotspots to see how powerful Becky is. Mera invites Don on the more paranormal investigations. Each time, Don and Becky surprise and amaze Mera and others with their incredible partnership. Incredibly, on one investigation, Becky speaks directly to another investigator, Chris Andrews, through a highly sensitive microphone. Yeah, they talk about it. They talk about it on their episode, but they never show the footage. And I'm like, hang on. Why aren't we seeing the footage? Stop telling me a story and show me. Oh, they showed off this guy's YouTube several times. And I'm like, could we have taken one of those clips out and put it in instead? I don't know. So the highly sensitive microphone they're talking. This is the way I was last night when I was watching the show. The sensitive microphone that they're talking about is apparently something that is used to pick up the sounds of bats, like the supersonic, or not the super, the hypersonic sounds of bats when they're doing their echolocation kind of thing, right? Supposedly, this guy caught it clear as a bell, but they only talked about the footage. They only talked about what they caught, and I'm like, wait a minute, what kind of a paranormal investigator goes out and isn't? I'm sorry, if I was putting together this episode, I would have been like, where is the footage? Because these guys, Mara and Chris Andrews, they're like, let me play you. I carry some of my best evidence on this phone so that I can show it off to people. You're telling me these guys don't have that? Come on. Come on. Okay. However, on a special investigation in Ireland, the famous Leishan House, with the world-renowned paranormal researcher Barry Fitzgerald, yes, that Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International, Mara observes that Becky might not be the benevolent being that he, and especially Don, have been led to believe. Mara is concerned about Becky grow after Mara has a profound and unsettling first-hand encounter with Becky himself. Who or what is this spirit going by the name of Becky? Has she really connected with Don out of good intentions? Or is Don actually tethered to something evil? Is this truly a partnership between a willing, living being and benevolent spirit? Or is Don actually the victim of a spirit that is much darker than he realizes? If you have a paranormal experience, submit your story to unsolved.com. Bro, I got so many experiences, you wouldn't know what to do with me. But this is where I feel really just... Because... yeah, in this episode, if you watch this episode, my paranormal partner, that's the other thing I want to make sure everybody, I still would tell you, watch Unsolved Mysteries. Watch Unsolved Mysteries. It's great. This reboot on Netflix is absolutely phenomenal. But this episode has really kicked up a lot of juju with me because, for one thing, it's very difficult to debunk this guy because it's, in a sense, it's a personal experience. Don Evans, is that his name? Don Phillips. Don Phillips is saying, right? He's saying, look, this thing has attached itself to me, and I'm embracing it, and we're working together to make things, happen, right? I'm sure an investigator would or have been excited to share this footage with the rest of the world. Is it that easy to say the spirit is evil when one person out of a group has a bad experience with them? Well, again, where it turned a corner was when Steve Mara observed something when he and Barry Fitzgerald were working with Don, and things took a rather ghastly turn. Also, in spoiler alert, in the episode, Don basically says, because Steve Mara had been hanging out with Don for several years, and they grew close, and Don said, I had a discussion with Becky. Becky wants to talk to you directly. And when Steve encountered Becky, he was like, yeah, it wasn't this little sweet little girl that Don believed it to be. Steve Mara gave an entirely different interpretation of what he felt from the experience connecting with her. But what I think is bigger is that it's very hard to debunk this, because we have to take Don's word as a paranormal investigator that, yeah, he's got a bond with this little girl called Becky, right? This little paranormal entity called Becky. We've got Steve Mara, founder of the scientific establishment of parapsychology. He's putting his reputation on the line. But they've got this evidence. They've got this apparent footage of all these things that happen. We don't see we see some things, but we don't see any of the real juicy, mind-blowing, mind-changing stuff For example, one investigation, Becky speaks directly to another investigator, Chris Andrews, through a highly sensitive microphone. We heard that entire story in the episode. We hear about how Chris was brought to knees and he was in tears in his eyes, tears in his eyes. He comes up to me, tears in his eyes. I got a great ghost for you. It's a beautiful ghost, wonderful ghost. Her name is Becky. She's wonderful. And that was the thing. It kind of felt like we were at a Trump rally watching this episode because it was all, Becky comes up to me, ghostly tears in her eyes. Sorry, secondhand. Never again. No, please stop. I know.
Who's this nut togger?
Sorry about that. No, I won't do that. I won't do it anymore. But it does. It was just we were hearing all these great stories about how Chris reacted to hearing in this very scientific device that was supposed to be, working with bats and yada 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 yada. No, that was actually going to be another rant I was going to go on. If you really want to see a very, very good interview, I cannot stress upon you. I cannot stress upon you. Actually, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna put the link in here right effing now. Hold on a second. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. Let's see. We've got. Yep. Number one. Of course, it's the number one thing on here. Yeah. Here it is. I am not kidding. I am not effing kidding when I say this. So I am dropping right here, chat. I'm. I didn't copy it. Okay. Let's try again. So share. Copy. Working on it. This is one of the best interviews I have seen with Kamala Harris. But one of the things I was also going to rant about, but I chose not to because I didn't want to get, super political on this. But that is the link to Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris's interview with Howard Stern. And I never have felt more in sync and in touch with Howard Stern than on this interview, because he kept asking Kamala Harris point blank, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? and it really was classic Howard Stern. I enjoyed it so effing much. And what was cooler about it was, yo, how you doing there, Arelis? Tomorrow. How about that? Tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're getting you're in my playhouse. Yeah, I did. I did. And the best reaction I saw to that was somebody on Thread said, right now, somewhere in the offices of Tesla, there are a bunch of corporate lawyers. They all got bottles of whiskey open and out, and they're going, how do we explain the legalities of letting a robot babysit your kid? Anyway, the thing that irks me, and I'm sure Howard Stern is probably going, why is this happening? Why are they listening to him? What is wrong with people? So Howard Stern actually tells this story. He told it in an interview at a very good, where he was being interviewed, right? And Howard said that he got a phone call from from Donnie, and Donnie T says to him, I'm going to go campaign for president of the United States. I want you to come with me. It'll be great. We'll have a great time. Blah, blah, blah. And Howard Stern was like, no. First off, one, I'm not voting for you. I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. So I think that's going to be kind of problematic. Secondly, why are you doing this? why do you want to be president? Dude, you got and he said to him, he said, dude, you got a great life. This is going to completely F it up. You got a great life. So don't F it up. Just, and apparently he pressed. Howard Stern still told him no, asked him why he wanted to run for president because he was going to be miserable. And Donnie T hung up on him. And then he started trashing Stern's name. Well, the thing is, the thing I love about this interview with Stern is it is not policy heavy. It's like you actually get to know Kamala, and it was an absolutely phenomenal interview. So if you want to see a really good interview, it's just great. It is absolutely phenomenal. But watching the way Donnie T is spinning it just gets my blood boiling. It really does. And I was fine. I was gonna probably find somewhere else to rant about it. Then this thing dropped on Unsolved Mysteries, and I was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So let's get back to this. I want to focus more on this, but it was like being at a Trump rally, because they were telling all these great stories about this one case that they went on where they took Becky, and they were saying, oh yeah, stuff got thrown around and this and this and that and that. And I'm like, and you mean to tell me not one person whipped out their phone and started filming? If I walk into a haunted property, I'm gonna have something recording. I'm going to have preferably a video camera, but I'm going to have something recording. Okay? I'm going to have something recording. But apparently, post 2015, people, quote unquote, don't do that, which we all know is a freaking lie. And I wanted, and that was the thing that was driving me nuts when they were saying, yeah, there were plates being thrown around and stuff doing this and stuff was shattered. And they were showing still pictures. I'm like, okay, if this was the 70s, granted, if it was the, maybe early 80s, I think I could roll with this, but no, from 1990 on, people had VHS recorders. And then in the early 2000s, we all had mini DV recorders. I remember all this stuff. I tracked with this stuff, and it was affordable. I felt like it was such a missed opportunity, and it made me really. And when I was, and it really came to play. It really came to play today, when I was going through the footage from the old hospital, and that moment came up. That moment that made me go, "Wait a second," and I must have played it 3 or 4 times. And then I called Pip. I hadn't even, and this is the other thing. When I first heard it, and when we all heard it together, because we all heard it together, I went flying right by it because I honestly thought it was one of us. But then I listened to it again. And I kept listening to it. And then I said, Pip, I need you to come up here. And Pip knows that when I say, Pip, I need you to come up here, or Pip, I need you, please come, at the old house, it was, please come down. I need you to listen to something. But for me, it was, now it's for me, it's, hey, Pip, I need you to come up here and listen to something. And I played it for Pip. And then when Phil's reaction to it, if you were curious, Phil's reaction when he heard it was fuck. That was his reaction to it. Fuck. And the thing is that I want to share that. I want to share that because if people were to say, well, that was overlaid, that was this, that was that, I'd be like, I'll give you the original footage. I'll give you the 4 clips that we got this from. Because let me tell you something. 1, I'm not that talented with audio that I could do this. 2, the biggest flaw, and I'd be the first one to acknowledge it, the biggest flaw of what of what I found today, the biggest flaw of what I found today is that you don't see us. None of us are on camera. And that kind of sucks. But what you do get when I put it next to, when I put all four, we caught this on 4 different devices, 4 of them. And when you hear it on my camera, my audio recorder, Phil's video camera, and Pip's iPhone, which was running GhostTube at the time, you realize it can't be any of us. It cannot be. And when I watch stuff like this, because this guy, now I got to go find him. I got to go find him. Sorry. Let me just pull this up. There he is. There he is. Now, in his defense, I'm going to say this. In his defense, this guy only has 5.1 thousand subscribers. And his Unsolved Mysteries just dropped. His Unsolved Mysteries just dropped. And I mean, it's not like he is killing it with views. I mean, he's got better views than me, and you know, more power to him. But yeah. This guy they kept cutting back to his YouTube channel. And what was pissing me off was, it was like, I'd rather see the footage from the events that you guys are talking about. Why you guys are not why you guys are turning this into a tell don't show is mind-boggling to me. And this is kind of where this is what we're up against. This is the constant struggle, I think, of real paranormal investigations. And I'm going to be bold and throw myself into that ring. We try at Old Spirits to keep it as legit as possible. We want you to, when I do, and you've heard me say this before on this channel, when I do the open review of footage, that is specifically so that you can see what it is we have to slog through. And today was the perfect, today really was, hold on a second, please. This was the picture perfect moment of, you know, just going through hours and hours and hours of footage. And then suddenly you get that one moment that is so intense. You've got to walk it off. You've just got to walk it off. And I did. You know, I came downstairs and Pip's like, how's it going? And I just said, I need to step away. And, you know, and the freakiest part of it, Pip was actually taking it better than I was. Pip was kind of, I would dare say, Pip was kind of nonchalant about the whole thing. But I was trying to process, what did I just hear? What did I just hear and experience? What was that? And I just found myself, I don't want to say at odds, but it felt like it. I felt like I was at odds with myself, because and you missed this earlier, Arelis. I said when I found the clip that I found today, it was so intense. It was so intense that I was tempted to just straight up write to Beardo and say, Beardo, you only know me through comments. but I want to send you a clip. I just found this, and I do not know what to make of it. I know what I think it is, and here's why I think what it is. But I swear to God, if you want the original footage, I will get it to you. But this just happened. Just so that I could either A, get an explanation from a skeptic, or B, here's the thing, Arelis, I can't do that on my own. I have to also tell Phil that I'm doing this too. And if Phil were to say don't send that, then I can't. You're right. You are absolutely right, Arelis. I should send it to him. I should send him and say, look, man, this just happened, and I'm trying to explain what else it could be. But this is really hard for me because I know how sound works. I know what. Oh. I do not know, but I will find out secondhand by next week. I'm going to give him a week. But he should send the email. And by the way, everybody, on that side note, the project that Steve and I are doing together, the Satanic Panic experiment, I've written up an intro for it. I've written up a scripted intro for it. And yeah, I think Steve's going to get a kick out of it. I will crack that whip secondhand. I will so crack that whip. But yeah, I mean, this is what we're facing. This is what I feel like honest paranormal people are facing. And I, in my heart of hearts, I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you or to anybody on my chat. I would be terrified to send something like that because I know in my heart of hearts, Beardo would say anything other than, I don't know what that is. Beardo would never say, I think you've actually got something here. Because he wants to believe, and I don't doubt that for a second. He wants to believe. But at the same time, he is so critical, and he wasn't there. If he was there, I think it might hit him a little differently. And I would hate to be told by somebody. The most ridiculous thing I heard was somebody said about the "I'm Here" clip. You all have seen that clip. I know. I'm pretty sure you have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. I will go on ahead and pull that moment back up. But the most ridiculous thing I heard was someone said it was a bird. It was a bird. Maybe you'll be the one to crack him. Maybe. I think what I'll do is I will ask Phil after we air the episode. Would he be willing to let me send that clip to Beardo, completely unaltered, completely unedited? Just here's the footage. Have at. I would love to know what you think this was. And if we disagree, we can disagree. But I just know from my heart of hearts, that wasn't any of us, and we were alone on the floor. It's, I mean, it is. But where I get really frustrated about stuff like that I saw in Unsolved Mysteries is plenty of folks make their living by crapping on other folks. Yes, Sam, that is true. But Beardo is not that guy. He is not one of those debunkers that goes out of his way to crap on somebody. He actually, somebody, I think somebody sent him a clip of some dude in Germany that was doing something, and Beardo was all about it. He was absolutely fascinated by this guy's clip. And then he figured out, oh wait, this other person in my community said, yada yada yada. If you loosen up the antenna, you can make it do all sorts of crazy things. And he demonstrated it. He didn't call the other guy a faker, but man, the other guy went absolutely ballistic on him. No, I know there are debunkers. I know there are debunkers that can get pretty freaking visceral. But I think where he gets upset is, and he said this in his most recent video too, Sam. By the way, how you doing, buddy? He said, I want to have an experience. I want to support legit paranormal investigators. However, I will not look the other way when I see people blatantly faking because they're making things harder for the rest of us. Yeah, I know. Oh, I think he's great, Arelis. I think he, and even Side Eye Guy. The fact that Side Eye Guy is in good with the Adelaide Haunted Horizons, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. And even even Beardo is charmed by the ladies of Adelaide. So there you go. Hard not to be charmed by those ladies. But I dig Seg and I dig Beardo. But the reason I'd want Beardo, Seg will turn it into a joke. Seg would turn it into a joke. Beardo, maybe not so much. The other thing I dig about Beardo is he will give, if you approach him as a pro, and if you approach him as a pro and you go, hey, I'd like for you to see something, he'll give you an honest opinion. And that is the choice, and that is the risk you take when you put something in front of Beardo. He's not going to be a jerk about it. And I think with Beardo, at least my impression with Beardo, particularly after what happened with Ghost Club Paranormal, with that one clip of the quote unquote shadow that went hobbling by the door, and then when the camera started moving, the shadow stock still. I mean, Beardo's got a point. He's got a very good point. And in that particular video, when he is breaking down what's going on with Ghost Club Paranormal, honestly, I think he is less angry and extremely disappointed because he had an open conversation and he had an open communication line with Jade. And apparently they approached him like an adult and everything was copacetic, and I think he was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, and then things went south. And Beardo I think he felt more disappointed than he felt angry. That was the impression I got. I mean, I have my own thoughts about Ghost Club Paranormal. You guys have heard me talk about it here, and I'm not gonna whip a dead horse. I just know that a change was made in Jade's approach, and that's her change to make. And I leave it at that. But yeah, Sam, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are people, they make a living by crapping on other folks. And that's the part I think that Beardo really gets uptight with, is that when he calls somebody out and they just go completely ballistic on them, like Twin Paranormal or what have you, the 12-year-olds that are still watching Sam and Colby, my thoughts on that is, okay, that's your choice. But you're not making anybody any friends. And, I don't get that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like Beardo, is because he's not necessarily going after smaller channels that are making either A, legit mistakes, or B, trying to find he doesn't go after the smaller channels. He hits the bigger fish. And you find out how kind of insecure some of these big fish are. But he made Paranormal Nightmare mad. Oh, Sag. But for me, I would invite him. I would love to take him to Gettysburg. I'd love to take him to Gettysburg. God, that'd be fun. Just for the history alone. But what happened today with my foot, and what you might have missed, Sam, is that I was going through some footage from the old hospital on College Hill, and I caught a clip that I've listened to and dissected, and I have done everything I possibly can to try to figure out who was speaking in that moment. and I don't know who it was. And the thing is, if it wasn't me, Pip, or Phil, we were the only 3 people on that floor when we were recording at the time. So either A, we were getting horrendously punked, or B, B, as in boo. Well, there's also plenty. Yes, there is plenty of money to be made in that. No, actually, Sam, no one has seen the clip. This was something that when I first was listening to it, I breezed by it. I breezed by it because I thought it was one of us. But then I went back and I listened to it again. I said, wait a second. That doesn't sound like Pip. Because I thought it was Pip. And then I brought Pip up here and I said, Pip, did you make that noise? She was like, no, that wasn't me. So yeah, Sam, this is one that I'm actually keeping in the back pocket and waiting until we drop and make part 1 available. And yeah, I'm talking about this specifically because of an unsolved mystery that I saw the other night, and it just makes me realize. First off, one, I am extremely pleased and absolutely over the moon at how well this channel is doing for itself. You know, I've been talking about in the most recent episodes, we've been talking about the road to 5K, because that's our next big milestone, 5,000 subscribers, right? And the thing I find amazing is that we actually hit 1,000 subs. We hit 1,000 subs within 1 year of creating content. We hit 1,000 subs. So I can't complain. You know, within 1 year, we hit 1,000 subs. Okay, cool. And it has been what? We're coming up on 3 years. Well, actually, we're coming up on 3 years with our channel. We're just about to finish season 3, right? Yeah, of course. So we're just about to finish season 3. So between year 1 and year 2, we hit 1,000 subs. It is now year 3, and we're less than 100 subs away from 5,000 subs. And even Steve has said, Steven, for anyone else, Steven, has said, that's pretty phenomenal considering you're in a tight niche like you are. And he's right. He's absolutely right. I'm very proud of that growth. Do I wish it was more? Of course I do. Of course I want it to be more. Of course. I mean, you always do. I mean, I actually saw Tactical Grandma hold up, I think it's her YouTube Platinum. I think it was the Platinum Award that she got. And as jealous as I was, at the same time, I was like, yeah, but I'm awful proud of her. And I'm like, you know, I'm on the right track. I mean, I want to believe that we're doing what Mr. Type. Yeah. Stephen Tiberius Sailor. Yes. Stephen Tiberius Sailor. Exactly. STS. But I you know, when Steve was saying you're onto something, I believe he is right. I think it is going to be tougher for us because we're competing against, you know, people using cyber trucks for paranormal investigation. We're competing against people that at least twice a month are at one time possessed during an investigation. We are constantly put up against people that are doing some of the dumbest things. One of the dumbest being that when something finally does happen on an investigation, they run in the opposite direction. And while there is a great moment with Phil where he does he challenges a ghost to come up and try to touch him, and he gives the countdown, and the music box next to him goes off. Yeah, he hustled away from there, but he didn't necessarily run away. He just hustled on away. I find it very fulfilling that we have managed to gain the traction that we have. Very proud of these numbers. For me, I think it's more about people that know me and people who have known me for a long time. People like MFD Sam. You'll get a kick out of this, Sam. So one of the people that helped me get to Lynchburg and sell the house up in Northern Virginia. Yeah, it's Katie Weidman. Katie Wethman. Hang on. Katie, you know what I'm talking about. From band. Let me find it. There it is. Katie Wethman. Yeah, she helped me. She basically helped me with selling the house. And when I first sat down and I talked to her, I said, she said, "So what have you been doing with yourself?" And I said, well, and I did the professional acting thing for a while. And then I started doing, I was a writer, and I'm still writing. I'm still, still occasionally writing, trying to find time to write. It's just gotten tough to write because, and I was going to throw it out there. I said, yeah, I'm a ghost hunter now. And there was a pause on the phone, and Katie went, "If it were anyone else, I thought that'd be weird, but it's you, so that tracks." You know what I mean? And so I take pride in the fact that, yeah, people would say, of course T would get into ghost hunting. But I would also want people to say, but if T's going to get into ghost hunting, he's not going to make an ass of himself. He's going to do it right. He's going to do right by you in that. And it's hard. I mean, it's really, really difficult. I really heard it in one of Beardo's videos when he was talking about what honest paranormal investigation is up against with some of these idiotic content creators, not just on YouTube, mind you, but on TikTok. Oh God, TikTok is like the Mos Eisley of the paranormal, the wretched hive full of scum and villainy. I mean, it really is. And Instagram's not far behind it. You know what I mean? But that, that is kind of what we're going up against. And then when I saw that Unsolved Mysteries, that was just heart-wrenching, because I'm sitting there going, come on, guys. You guys have been working together since 2015, according to the write-up. And you're telling me nobody has any footage of the stuff that you're talking about. And I remember hearing something about this guy who apparently was doing the paranormal circles at one time. And he said he had irrefute to the table proof of the paranormal. He had cracked it. But he was not going to, but I remember hearing this in an interview, either an interview he was, I think an interview he was doing. He said, I am not going to release this footage until I negotiate for a proper paranormal series. And apparently they are still debating about that. So yeah. I mean, there are some days that I'm slogging through the footage and I'm just thinking,
Guardian down.
But I'm pushing forward. I'm pushing forward because I had that moment. The moment you've all heard me talk about, where it's been hours of just slogging through, and then there's that 5 minutes of what WTF. And I haven't heard from Phil tonight, at least not recently. Let me just double check. Let me tell you something, Sam. Yeah, Katie is crushing it in real estate. Oh, what time do you want to meet? Oh, there we go. So I did hear from him. So as soon as I wrap up with this very short stream, I'm going to go on ahead and ping Phil and get back into the footage. But yeah, she's crushing it, and she did. She helped us out, and we sold the house in Northern Virginia, and we're here, and we will by my birthday week, we're gonna have the property up in Northern Virginia and the property here paid off.
I suggest you let that one marinate.
Can't complain. Cannot complain. And I'm still working on this studio. Still adding on to the studio. Still giving it little touches here and there. Very proud of this little nook. And if Marv thinks I got good spacing on the monitors, I'm good. If anybody missed that, this is what the studio looks like now. This is my new studio, and as you see, I just added in the lights. The lights are new. I love the lights. I didn't think I'd be a light guy, one of these folks that did the thing with the lights, but I freaking love it. And so I gotta make sure that I start getting into that groove of doing other stuff, to finish off the studio properly. I've got some stuff I want to hang up here, and it's a work in progress. Hopefully I'll have it done by December, but we'll see. Right now, October is just jam-packed, and November also doesn't seem to be letting up much. But as I've mentioned before, we have an event, as you can see in the lower corner. We have an event. It's going to be tomorrow. Aurelius will be there, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time. Aurelius, if you want to go off with, since you get a lot of time with me, if you want to go off with Phil and do Phil's group, I will totally understand. We're going to probably be breaking up the group into two, and someone's going to go upstairs, we're going to go downstairs, and then hopefully we'll be able to rotate in and out, make it a smooth transition. Phil and I have got to get together, and we got to figure out some of the logistics of things. So yeah, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent.
Stay on target.
I know.
Stay on target.
I'll get there. So anyway, that's happening tomorrow, but we will not be live streaming that event tomorrow. I want to focus on the event itself. Still going to bring some stuff to record with, and I'm going to be bringing some Ghost Tube stuff and some Seer stuff. So I think we're going to be good in that respect. The other things that we're going to be having planned for this month, yes, we will be live streaming those. The event that we're calling the Satanic Panic Experiment in November, we're going to be live streaming that. If everything goes right, we're going to be live streaming our adventure in the haunted house attraction, which we will be wrapping up with an investigation. So how that works, this is also a fun experiment. A haunted house attraction, which is happening in a property that we're pretty sure is haunted. We think it's haunted anyway. The hosts of the haunted house attraction have asked us to come in and do an investigation of the place after the haunted house attraction closes, so we can see if there is elevated, supernatural activity in said haunted location. This should be fun. I have never done anything like this, obviously, and this ought to be a really neat experiment. We're going to live stream that. We got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of stuff planned. But right now, I need to just kind of put the stream to bed, and I will see you all on Monday. We're probably going to be going through some more the footage, basically assembling the episode. So if you want to see you're catching the tail end of the stream, Scott. I wanted to do a very quick touch base with everybody because tomorrow we will not be online. I'll be back on Monday, probably doing some more episode assembly and things like that. So yeah, we've got stuff to do. We've got stuff to do around here. So for those of you watching on YouTube and on Twitch, no raid. We're just going to go on ahead and just quietly call it a night. But thank you all for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. And yes, you will. Yes, you will, Arelis. Yes, you will. I'll be seeing some of you tomorrow. I'll be seeing some of you later. I'll be seeing some of you on Monday. So you all have a great night. Thanks for sitting with me and propping your feet up and just enjoying the stream of consciousness. And I will talk to you all later. Take care, everybody. Peace.